We got some great news for Alphabet stock investors as the company announced a deal with Anthropic that could lead to billions of dollars in revenue and profits for Alphabet. I touched on some of this news a couple of days ago. At that point, it wasn't finalized. Now we got more details of this deal, and it's much better than I was expecting. Let me talk about why that's the case here in this video.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now.
All right, so Alphabet will supply up to 1 million of its specialized AI chips to Anthropic, a deal worth tens of billions of dollars that deepens its partnership with the fast-growing AI startup. A deal worth tens of billions of dollars. I did not expect this deal to be this large. I also did not expect the deal to be for the specialized AI chips. I thought it was more so going to be access to cloud computing, renting out or leasing out some of its cloud computing capacity, more so its capacity of NVIDIA chips, not its own chips. So this is a big deal for Alphabet. It puts its chips on the map as a viable alternative to NVIDIA's chips, and it gives the company a huge negotiating advantage against NVIDIA, which was garnering so much negotiating power against companies like Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, Oracle, and Meta platforms, because it was really the only game in town. But now we're getting some others that are jumping into the fray, including AMD, which has signed some big deals. Although I wasn't too impressed with AMD's deal with OpenAI, because AMD had to give up shares of the company in order to secure a deal with OpenAI. That wasn't really an endorsement of AMD's quality of chips. I have thought that AMD was going to get an opportunity because companies like Alphabet and others, they want other choices outside of NVIDIA. NVIDIA is selling its GPUs at gross profit margins approaching 75%. That's almost unheard of for products to generate a gross profit margin on a physical product of 75%. That just goes to highlight how much competitive advantage NVIDIA is holding against some of its rivals. So this deal for 1 million of Alphabet's chips is really positive for Alphabet. Not only does it get this tens of billions of dollars in revenue, but it also gets to scale up the manufacturing of these products. It gets the learning experience to iterate and improve on this product for its internal use case, in addition to selling it to outside partners. So that allows the company to produce on a larger scale. So they generate revenue and profit from selling to Anthropic, but because they'll be producing at a much larger scale, the cost of each unit, the cost of production of each unit will likely decrease, because when you go larger scale, you're able to decrease the cost per unit. So for its internal use case, they'll also be able to have these at a lower cost per unit, and then they'll also be able to sell them. And now, because they're at the larger scale, they can sell them at a lower price to others outside of Anthropic. So really, really positive news for Alphabet. That's why in the introduction of the video, I said it was much better than I was expecting, because if it was just selling access to cloud computing based on NVIDIA's technology, it wouldn't be as lucrative as selling their own chips to someone like Anthropic and at such a large scale. This is much better than I was expecting. Really great news for Alphabet stock investors. Me, I own Alphabet stock, so I'm really pleased with this development. As the company comes under pressure from the increasing effectiveness of artificial intelligence, changing consumer behavior, taking consumers away from its Google search engine and sending them to large language models like ChatGPT and even Google Gemini, which do not monetize and are not as lucrative for Alphabet. Even people using Alphabet's Gemini, those folks do not generate as lucrative of margin for the company as they did when they were spending their time searching on Google search. And so these offsetting forces are desperately needed for Alphabet to help offset some of the negative impacts from people's changing behavior. So congrats to all of you Alphabet stock investors and myself for this huge deal. Hopefully this is just the beginning and more announcements to come. Hey everyone, I'm excited to announce that my book is finally available for sale. I've been working on it for more than a year now, so I'm really excited to finally share this with you now. It goes through my framework for evaluating stocks. Some of you often ask why I like this stock or why I like the other stock. And this framework provides you the things that I look at when I'm evaluating stocks. I've added the link in the description below.